Okay guys, welcome to the first edition of Bradford's Homestead. What I'm doing tonight is frying up some pork chops. I have my flour mixture with all my seasonings here. I do a two-part. I don't dip my pork chops in egg or a milk wash. I dip them in flour and seasonings, and then I do them in traditional 4C's breadcrumbs, just normal store brand breadcrumbs. I do treat my meat before I season it with Himalayan pink salt. We happen to like this texture and flavor of salt. It's a little more expensive than other salts, but you know, we kind of really like it. So what I'm going to do is basically start by putting my pork chops. We've got 8 pork chops right here. We're going to put the pork chops in our flour wash, then go from the flour wash to the breadcrumbs, and then into our cast iron pan where we have a basically just the bottom of our cast iron pan covered in Crisco. And we'll get right back to it after this gets all heated up and I get all of my meat breaded and ready. Alright guys, so I've got the pork chops completely breaded, seasoned, ready. Oil's hot. I've seen online where people do it at a specific time. I don't do it by a specific time. I do it by the way it looks. From what I've seen in the past and the way that I cook ours, it's usually between 4 and 6 minutes per side depending on thickness. These are pork chops that were sent to us from a friend in northwest Florida. He did a lot of hunting up in the Alabama area for wild hog, and this is what this is. This is wild hog pork chops. He did all the cleaning, the butchering, everything, and he sent them in proportionate packages for my family. He's a good friend of mine. Thanks, man. I don't want to say your name because I know you don't like the whole online thing. But the oil's hot. It's ready. I'm going to throw these on. Basically, what we're doing is pork chops with rice and gravy tonight. And I'm not going to show you my gravy recipe. There's 50,000 gravy recipes out there, and if I show you mine, then I'm sure my mom would be pissed off because I showed the world our gravy recipe, which I don't want to do. Please forgive me for my arm too. I had an incident at work, and we're trying to get through it the best we can. So basically what I'm going to do is literally just lay my pork chops in here. The grease is extremely hot. And these are huge, huge pork chops. This is a 14-inch pan, and as you can see, the pork chops are almost covering the entire pan. I think I can only get 2 in here at a time. So let's sit here and we will watch the clock. I'll say probably 4 minutes from now. I'll check them, see if they're semi-close to done. If they are, then I'll flip them and continue on with the process. So once we get this done, we'll show you what's going on. And for everybody who is going to be tuning into my station, Bradford's Homestead, we live in central New Jersey. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the area, but if you are, there isn't much room for farms. We happen to live in Burlington County, and we're surrounded by farm areas, but we happen to be in a very suburban area. My lot is 80 by 100. So we have a very small farm It's not even really a farm. It's literally just what we're trying to do to make ends meet. We did a bunch of raised garden beds last year, and we didn't do any footage of that, which we should have. But we're going to show you this year, and we're just going to try and keep going on with the YouTube thing. So I hope you guys hang in there. I hope you guys like the videos. Like if you like it. Subscribe if you would like to subscribe to it. Leave a comment. I don't care if it's positive or negative. I really don't. I'm not doing this for anything other than self-satisfaction of knowing that we are doing what we can in a very extremely urban area. And I hope you guys like it. So we're going to shut this off for a minute. We're going to fry up a couple of more, and then throughout the process we'll just keep coming on and going off. Okay? So as you can see, we got 4 of them done. We're working on our last 2. The oil's doing great, pork chops are doing great, everything's doing great. The only thing is we didn't have any paper towels. I didn't even realize it, so we're using paper plates and coffee filters to drain the excess oil off. We don't have one of those little cool people with money draining racks. We don't have one of those. I'm sure I can make something, but this is fine for us. So basically what we're going to do after our pork chops are done, we're going to let them stand. Excuse me. And then we are going to start making our rice and gravy. Again, I'm not going to show you our gravy ingredients because the Bradfords have got to keep something sacred. And I won't show you everything that's in my chili. I won't show you everything that's in my gravy, just because it's traditional. It's what we have. And I'll show you the basics. And hopefully you guys can go from there and doctor up your own and make your own. At this point, I'm going to flip these. They've been sitting there long enough. Again, I usually use my left hand, but since I'm left hand enabled right now, I'm going to use my right. So if it looks a little weird, sorry. Oh, yeah, I can't put any pressure on my wrist. Oh. All right, so my pork chop's not laying down in there. And this is a 14-inch pan, so that just tells you how big these pork chops are when I can only get 2 of them in there at a time. So as of now, we're just waiting for another 4.5 minutes on this side, and then we will be done with that, and then we'll show you the meal after it is fully complete. And I clean all the grease off the stove because my wife's going to be pissed that I got grease all over the stove, but that is what it is when you are making pork chops with splatters. Little beer break. Alright guys, pork chops are done. I got them sitting in the microwave staying warm. My veggies are done. What we have is a quarter of a gallon size bag and a quarter of a gallon size bag of green beans and corn left over. So we're just going to make a mixture of veggies. My rice, excuse me, we usually buy a 50-pound bag of rice, and then we stick them in containers that we save. The way I do it, I usually use a nice size saucepan. I fill the entire bottom because I feed a family of 5. I fill the bottom up to about where I think my knuckle from my finger will go through and then reach the bottom. That's the distance I use to make for my family. So what I do at this point, I come over to the sink. I rinse the rice really good to get all the extra starches out of it. I don't have a rice cooker, although one day maybe. But as you can see, the water gets real milky, and that's literally just nothing but excess starch that we don't need. So I constantly sit here and I mix it for, I don't know, I'll say probably a couple of minutes. Get all this excess starch out. So what I'm doing is basically doing this with the rice through my fingers in the bottom as I'm mixing and stirring. I want to get as much of the starch out as I can. So I'll empty the water and then fill up some more water. Get as much of that starch out as I can. See how it's starting to get clear? That's what you want. You want to get as much of that out as possible. So at the end of the rinsing process, what I usually do, I get the rice all leveled up to the bottom. A little bit of water in there to help it out. I level it out to the bottom. I'm going to get it as even as I can so I can get a good measurement. Put water in. The same distance that you use to measure the width of rice that you have in the bottom, you want that to the same. So it's usually a knuckles width. So as long as I have a knuckles width, so you're just touching the very surface of the rice. Make sure it's all even. Going to put a little bit more water in. There we go. Perfect amount of rice, perfect amount of water. I put this on boil. And we have what I think is a bad regulator on our stove. My wife said that you put the lid on as soon as it starts to move. That's when you shut it off and you let it sit. Normally you would sit there and just let it boil and then do its thing. But with us right now, this is what we have. Because if you can look at the flame, when you put it on low, that's not really low. That's almost like a high medium or a low medium. So I think we have a faulty regulator. I don't know. Anyway, I will pick this back up as soon as the rice is done. I'll make my gravy. And again, I'm not going to show you the process of making my gravy because that's a family kept secret, and I think it should be kept in the family. Okay, so we'll be right back. Alright, so we're done. Basically everything is cooked. What I like to do, grab a pork chop, set it on the plate. Nice big scoop of sticky rice. We really like sticky rice. Kids kind of like fluffy rice a little bit better, but my gravy that I didn't show you, I make a liquid gravy. It's not a thick gravy at all. And then our vegetables left over from this year. Not a perfect presentation, but that's basically what it looks like.